All right, so I get asked all the time, like, what's your second favorite team in the NFL, or what's your second favorite team in the NBA, or just any league? And it's definitely a hard question for me to answer because I'm not a firm believer in having a second favorite team. I mean, there are plenty of people that do it. I personally don't really follow that because I feel like it's hard to have an equal devotion to multiple teams, and usually one of them geographically won't make total sense. But I mean, I kind of have teams that I want to do good or I support, and for various reasons. I don't root for them officially. I don't, go out on a limb and, like hope and pray that they're going to win. But I support them, and for me, that is the city of Detroit, in terms of their four major sports teams. And you might ask why? Why Detroit? That's a random, city in, middle of nowhere in Michigan. But no, there is reason. I feel like Detroit is kind of like Oakland if Oakland could build stadiums, right? Like people all the time will say like, oh, Oakland, they have too much crime or they have these issues, and it's like all the issues that Oakland has, Detroit has too. Like Detroit has one of the highest crime rates in the country, if not the highest, but they still have sports teams that people care about, and they have some of the most loyal fans. I think probably the loyalist fans. I think Cleveland probably has some of the most loyal fans as well. Buffalo teams, Cleveland teams, but I think Detroit teams are right up there with them because of just the way they're run. Most of their teams, if not all, kind of have a underdog mentality, right? Like obviously the Lions, they've never made a Super Bowl yet they still have dedicated fans that care about the team. They were the first team to be winless in a season. Like they are, for most people view them as a laughing stock in history, and in a way they are. But I respect the Lions a lot. Not to mention they got great uniforms. Then you look at the Red Wings, a team that has found a lot more success than the Lions over the years, but they still have had rich history, like Gordie Howe and Steve Yzerman, obviously, and they are dedicated fans, right? They care about them. You look at the Pistons, the Bad Boys era, an era that was so cool, winning back-to-back championships. Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer, Dennis Rodman, I could go on. And then you obviously have the Tigers, who I guess aren't as exciting as some of the others, but they have a lot of history of winning championships, and they also have had generational players like Miguel Cabrera now, and it's like joining the 500 home run club. And I just have a lot of respect for the fact that Detroit reminds me of Oakland in a way, in a way that Oakland, kind of had an underdog mentality to it. Like the Raiders were a laughing stock, in their second Oakland stint in the early 2000s, yet people would still paint their faces and go to games. And the A's, are obviously a small market team, to the extreme. They have, fans that are loyal, and, obviously the Warriors, who are, drastically different than the Raiders and A's, have had a lot of success and, rich history as well. So it's like, I feel like they kind of connect. And that's kind of why whenever people now ask me, like, if, you didn't root for the Oakland / Bay Area teams, like who would you root for? And my first answer is always Detroit teams because, I feel like there's just, good reason to. And I like the fact that these teams have kind of that grit and grind feeling to them. And I really respect the history, like the underdog mentality. And yet the fans still show up and support Detroit. And it's like, I feel like people will make excuses for Oakland not having teams when St. Louis and Detroit are, in a way, kind of similar to Oakland in the sense that they have some issues about the city, but, they have sports that people care about. So, yeah, anyways, I just thought I would address that. It's a sports city I consider my second favorite. And funny thing is, I don't really consider myself a fan of a sports city because Oakland isn't really a sports city anymore, unfortunately, with only one team. But I feel like the Bay Area as an area is kind of my sports area I root for. So, Detroit's kind of my second favorite. So, yeah, anyways, guys, just let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you have a second favorite. With that being said, though, I'm not saying I root for the Lions. I'm not going to start, buying an immense amount of Lion stuff or, being a Red Wings diehard. But I'm just saying I respect these teams more than I respect other ones. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys later. And, yeah, peace out.